Our pleasure now to welcome in on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. He is a beat writer for the Army Black Knights for the Times Herald-Record. Ken McMillan joins us and makes his BYUSN debut. Ken, great to have you on the program. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Man, I wish BYU and Army were playing in West Point this Saturday. That is not the case. And we saw Army and their athletic director and coach kind of put some social media messages out there saying, hey, anybody want to play? BYU can't. We're ready. We're good. Is there any chance that Army plays this weekend?
No, not at all. They made attempts with 20 schools once they learned about the BYU cancellation and couldn't line anything up, which I'm not surprised. I mean, at this late stage, it's hard to schedule something 5 days out.
When we look at this game and the potential of it being rescheduled, because the rhetoric has been, hey, they're going to try and reschedule. Are they really? Because it feels like it's going to be difficult to do so. What's your sense of whether this is going to be rescheduled or not?
I don't think it's going to be difficult to reschedule, to tell you the truth. The issue was Jeff Monken, the head coach of Army, wanted to play this week for obvious reasons. Army's off to a 2-0 start, playing some good ball, have momentum, and they also had a CBS TV window given to them. So the CBS doesn't offer Army a lot of games on the big network. They do have the contract with CBS Sports Network. So it would have been advantageous for Army to play this week. So unfortunate that they can't. I think when Mike Buddy put out his note about seeking an opponent, I don't think he was taking a jab at Brigham Young, to tell you the truth. I really think that they honestly were looking for anybody to play, even into the Division I AA ranks. So it didn't happen. November 28th is still an open date for both schools. So is December 5th. But there's no way the Army is going to agree to December 5th, 1 week before Navy. So as far as I'm concerned, I think November 28th is ideal if both schools can agree.
Why haven't they agreed on it up to this point if both are available on that day and they do want to reschedule it?
I'm not saying that they can't. I think Army was going to exhaust all possibilities to play this Saturday. And frankly, I think they gave themselves a Tuesday deadline yesterday. It didn't happen. Bob Beretta, the associate athletic director who pieced together this schedule on the fly, pretty much said they tried and it didn't happen. So as of noontime here today, there is no game Saturday. I think they'll proceed forward to Brigham Young for the end of the regular season.
Ken McMillan, sports editor and Army beat writer for the Times Herald-Record, with us on BYU Sports Nation. If you could put a % chance to BYU and Army being rescheduled for November 28th, how confident are you right now, and what % chance would you give it?
I would give it a very high chance. I'm not a betting man, but I'll say 90%. I don't see why. There's no excuse not to play at the end of the year, barring any more issues with COVID and things of that nature. So it's an open date. They have a contract, and Army is supposed to get a return date to Brigham Young in 2032 through this deal. So I don't see why. There's no excuse not to have this game.
Amen to that. And I think we were all looking forward to this one, right? It was going to be this two teams that had won their games early. It was going to be on CBS, two teams that have got into the adjusted top 25. This was going to be awesome. And for BYU and Army, I think they're both seeking and thinking, hey, maybe something special could happen this year based on the performance early. So hopefully they can line it up. That'd be nice. So give us a sense of, with Army, do they feel like this team is grossly better than last year's 5-8 squad and that they could do something special this year?
They don't like comparing to previous years, and obviously they were 5-8 last year. They had their struggles, some mistakes, but they seem re-energized. The pieces are falling in place on both offense and defense. They have an experienced quarterback back. They have a tremendous fullback who's produced 4 touchdowns, Sandon McCoy. Defense has Nate Woody is the new defensive coordinator. He was at Georgia Tech in 18 and Michigan in 19. And you can see a marked difference in the defense. They've got 6 takeaways so far this year. They're playing good ball. Now, granted, they did play, Middle Tennessee and Louisiana Monroe aren't exactly top 25 teams, and they weren't coming off great seasons. And there were a lot of issues with Middle Tennessee having only 2 weeks to prepare for playing an option team, not a good thing for any squad. And Louisiana Monroe, they suffered through a COVID outbreak. Then they had Hurricane Laura, during which time they only had one practice over 10 days. And they lost their defensive coordinator 10 days before the season started. So everything was working against Louisiana Monroe. So as well as Army's playing, outscoring the opposition 79-7, they haven't played a top-notch foe just yet, and BYU would have been that.
Sure, and they're going to get it against Cincinnati on September 26th. What was your impression of BYU football, having watched them play against Navy, who, like the teams you just referenced, kind of said, man, we just didn't have much time to prepare. We didn't go live contact. So how good is BYU, and how unprepared was Navy?
I was very impressed by BYU, no doubt. You put up numbers like that. As far as Navy goes, I'm sure you guys have already, read about Kenny Niamanaolo's response from Navy, saying that they were kind of protecting their players. They were using tackling dummies and not having live tackling. So I don't think Navy was fully prepared, and Kenny fully admitted that too. I think if he had it to do it over, Navy would have been a lot better prepared against BYU. But BYU was impressive, and certainly will be a great task for any team they face this year.
We've been Ken Niamanaolo fans for a while. One, he's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so we've always had that connection, right, with him here. But he interviewed for the BYU job and whatnot. So we love Ken, but he did say the other day, wait a minute, this is unfair with the Commander-in-Chief trophy that Air Force plays these 2 games and we got to play the whole thing. Give us a sense of how unique this season is in terms of that particular competition among Navy, Army, and Air Force, where Air Force is only playing the 2 games, but Navy and Army are playing what they hope is a fullish schedule.
Well, let's face it, this is COVID versus tradition. The Commander-in-Chief's game has been played for, nearly 60 years now. So it's important to have that competition. I think all of America appreciates that competition as well. Air Force and Navy have had tremendous games the past couple of years. And, of course, Army won the Commander-in-Chief for a couple of years in a row, which hadn't been done in a long time. So it really re-energized things here. To tell you the truth, when I heard that the Air Force was not going to have a Mountain West season, I thought, oh, well, that's a shame, especially if they were going to move it to the spring ball, which the Mountain West can still do. But then when I read that Air Force said, no, we're still going to play these 2 games, I'm like, oh, well, on one hand, I'm saying it's tremendous. But then I listen to Coach Kenny and I say, he's totally right, what he told the Capital Gazette. This is not like 1890 when Army played Navy and you had to prepare for 1 game. This is, current day. And to prepare an entire preseason for Navy, it definitely puts Navy at a disadvantage, especially if Navy's playing week after week. One of the things that the reason why Jeff Monken wanted to play this week, whether it was BYU or any opponent, is because he said, our team is healthy right now. When you play week after week after week, injuries mount, situations arise, you get weaker as the season goes along. I think that's true of any football program. So if Air Force can go scot-free and only risk injury in practice, that gives them a competitive advantage against Navy, and I understand why he was upset. But I'm still glad that Air Force and Navy and Army can still play for this trophy, but Kenny's right. This is unfortunate, but you know what? Those are the cards that are being dealt.
All right, Ken, let's say hypothetically that another high-level group of 5 team has a COVID scenario come up and they want to play another game, and Army's like, hey, we've got November 28th open for the likes of UCF or an Appalachian State. Is there any reason, or is that a factor into maybe why there is some hesitation to add BYU on November 28th? Because maybe there's another high-level opponent out there that could be added due to COVID?
I don't think that was Army's motivation here. However, the opportunity is there. So I don't think Army was shopping for a better opponent. I don't think you can get much better than what you've got with BYU. So, but the opportunity is there. But I'm not a lawyer. So you've already signed a contract with each other, and barring strange circumstances, which of course 2020 is just that, I really think Army and BYU are going to face each other. But the opportunity still remains open. And as you said earlier, BYU has other dates to fill themselves. So you're in the same boat as far as picking up opponents as the season moves along.
You've made us feel better. I mean, when you said 80 or 90%, I just immediately felt better about life in general. So thanks for bringing the solid energy to the program today.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. Ken McMillan on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why, we show how.
Yeah, I'm really